Joe Cole was, we talk about superstar young players, and Joe Cole was the superstar young player. Like, he was one of the players that the streets knew about, but also the people that the tabloids and BBC and that all knew about Joe Cole, because he was that guy. He came to training at West Ham with the first team when I was a young first team player. I think he was 15, 14, 15. Played a two-touch game, and he banged in like 2 or 3 goals, and like sitting there going, how's this guy doing that? How's he come and just messed the whole first team up the way he did? He was ridiculous. I used to stop after training to watch his game.
Is it?
Yeah, because I wanted to see him play. He was that good. I went to the FA Cup youth run to the final when they won it. All the games at Upton Park, I was there. So in that early development stage, like, was your talent natural, or was it something that was coached into you?
It definitely weren't coached. Like, I was different as a type of player. Like, I think there's lots of players play like me now, or similar to, or play the modern day play. You know, the Grealishes, Maddison's, Foden.
Yeah,
you know.
is that what Joe Cole was as a kid? Do you think that's the player?
Yeah, but like these guys are more. They're more coached and in a system that works for them. But I was a pure street kid. I didn't play for a team until I was 10. My dad didn't know nothing about football. You know, and all I did was playground, you know, and then everyone would be going, George, you've got to get him into a team. You've got to get him into a team. And he'd be like, yeah, all right, okay. And it wasn't until one of my mates' dads went, listen, I don't know, I'm taking him on Saturday to play for this team. And then within about 4 weeks, I just had all of the scouts looking at me. And it was because I just sort of, I'm quite obsessive about things. So I decided at probably the age of 5 or 6, it was all about what can I do with the football. So I'd be like, I'd be out by myself against the wall. Can I hit the crossbar there? Can I, you know, then 2 or 3 lads would join in, we'd do a 2-on-2. And then you go and play with the older boys. And then can I do that skill? And if I couldn't do something, I couldn't accept it with a ball. Like, I'd just play until I'd be dragging. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, it's like in the estate, you'd be 7 or 8 playing with like 12-year-olds. And they'd be better than you because they're older and they could do things. But I couldn't accept that. So I'd pretend I was going home and I'd get into, we had a little garden, tiny little garden, no bigger than this room. And I'd just go out there until it was bedtime. And I'd just be up against the wall and just until I could do what all the other kids could do. And we had a lot of good players around, which helped as well. So yeah, it was completely self-taught, my style of football. And it was different. And I didn't even watch football. Do you know what I mean? There was no football on in the house, so just enjoyed it.
It's mad that. What's different for the Wonder Kid today to the Wonder Kid in your era?
Well, I think today there's a lot more. There's a beaten track for it, in the sense that, you know, like they all seem to, you know, there's first of all there's agents, you know, everywhere, and they're trying to, you know, advise and trying to, you know, they see a little something in the kid and they want to help him. Some the good ones, and then other ones want to try and I think so. The parents talk, and there was none of that really. And I was sort of like the first one that sort of was talked about. Not the first, maybe not the first one, but the first one that was talked about in such massive terms before I'd even kicked the ball.
Michael Owen, you saw him.
Yeah,
you saw him for what he done for England under 15s, and then you saw him when he broke into England. With Joe, you heard about. It's like mythical. You heard about him before, and all of a sudden you see it and you go, "Oh, I'm believing what I see."
Yeah.
You know what I mean, have you got any like mad stories about when you're growing up, like with, I don't know, you said agents or with football clubs, with your family and yourself?
Well, there's one massive moment, which I think I was 15. I'd just gone to Lillishall, and it was a front page of a tabloid. That made us just a nonsense story about me on $5,000 a week, more than the prime. The headlines was, football kid earns more than the Prime Minister. It was Tony Blair at the time.
Tony Blair would have been devastated.
Yeah. So anyway, like, and the way I dealt with it was I was actually a shy kid. Like, you know, I was a shy kid, but I liked to have a laugh. And where you from, you front it, don't you? So it was like literally, I remember the day walking into school, I was at Lillishall. So I was in a new school anyway. It was like I went from inner London school to like a farm school, town in middle of Shropshire.
Lillishall, by the way, was a national football school back in the day. Yeah.
So I got in there, and then this was on the Sunday papers. And back in the day, everyone read the Sunday papers. Like people nowadays, there's so much information, but like that was it. Like it was like boom, and then my sort of world changed because people changed towards me. Then there was some teachers who was like made snarky comments. Kids would, you know, and you get a feeling when you, I suppose it's similar to like sort of in a small way, instant fame. So I walked into a room and then everyone wanted to talk to me about that, and some of the teachers, and my way of dealing with it was just pretending that it was like blagging. Like I wasn't on £5 I had done nothing, but I'd be like, the teachers would say a snarky comment and go, I'll lend you a few quid, sir. Do you know? But that was my way of dealing with it. Do you know what I mean? But really, inside, I hated it. I just wanted to play football. And there was none of this none like nowadays. If that happened now, there'd be someone within a football club academy ringing him up. Does he need any support? Like, because going through, it's a big thing for a 14-year-old kid to go through, right? I had no say in it, and then everyone changed. You go around the ends, people were actually asking me to lend money, like grown adults. You know what I mean? I'd be like, I go back home, and then I'd be playing football with my mates in the flats or just walking around, and my mate's old man would be like, Joe, got this thing, I want to buy this thing for 50 grand. Like, I'm like, mate, I've not got that money. Like, and they're asking a 15-year-old kid for money. I'm like, so it changed my world.
Did football clubs offer you money? Because you could have gone to United and you could have gone to other clubs other than West Ham.
Football clubs offer me money. And this is where, my dad, like, God bless him, he just went, as soon as they started talking money, because he was straight like my dad, and he went, listen, I'll stop you there. I won't be selling my son. He go where he wants to go. If he's happy here, he'll go there. Do you know what I mean? And it sort of took people on the back step, because they're like, that's a man. We didn't have a lot. Do you know what I mean? And there was clubs that offered money, and it probably still goes on now. I'm sure it does. Well, I know it does. But my dad was like, nah, he'll go, because it was all. Like I said, I went to West Ham when I was 12, and it was all happened so quick for my mum and dad. They didn't even know I was good at football. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, whereas a kid's 6-year-old now, a parent knows he's good at football, and they seem to be like starting this journey with him and sending them to private lessons, coaching, blah, 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 and they all preparing for it. My dad was just like, no, he'll go where he's happy. And I was happy at West Ham. So.
I remember your first session when you come over to West Ham, because I was there. Do you remember when you started going into the first team?
Yeah.
As a football player. Yeah. You was amazing, Joe.
Yeah.
Like, what was going through your head as a player at that young age, coming into the first team?
Do you know what, right? The reason I was a unique player in my era. There's a lot more players like me now, and they're like who really, technically.
Yeah, I'll get ya.
Do you know what I mean, Jim? But the reason I'm sorry, my phone's gone. I should have turned that off.
Worry.
But is it yours?
Yeah.
Unprofessional. Can we swear?
You can do whatever you want.
Thought I was on the
You're
BBC
Joey
for a minute. No, so I was like, my old man was not a football person as well, so I didn't play for a team until I was 11. So I had no coaching, no one told me nothing. I just watched football, went outside, so no one telling me what to do. So that was 11 till I actually played my first organised game on grass. Then 5 years later,
you come into it quite late, didn't you?
That's absurd now. My kids have been playing football at like 4, 5, 6, shin pads, referees and all that. So I was always, and I just pig-headed about the way I wanted to play football. And I think I wasn't thinking much. I was just going out and just playing, And
you're saying you were watching stuff and then doing it, but the stuff that you were doing, no one had seen before. So what were you watching?
You used to do stuff, Joe, that like a step over was a step over, a Cruyff turn was a Cruyff turn, but you used to do stuff
little hybrids.
You could call them that. It was like some mad twist up shit. Yeah. And I remember, do you remember Rio's laugh? When you do nutty stuff, he just used to jump and do this squeal, didn't he? But you used to do some mad shit. Did you? My question to you is, it's a question really, because I know you didn't see it. How did you learn that? Or did you just
I don't know. I don't know. As a kid, I was obsessed with football, like we all were, played all the time, and then when everyone used to go home, I used to just carry on by myself. Like
I'd have it by your feet?
Obsessive and by my feet, and I'd just be there for hours. Like, and my mum and dad used to think like, is he all right? I'd be up against the wall, and I'd be trying something, and just until, and you know what would really annoy me? Because in the estate, you'd always play with the older kids, and we had some good footballers on the estate. And if someone could do something with a ball that I couldn't do, I used to go home and he used to do my Sweden, and I used to be like, right, and I couldn't let it rest until I could do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was how I was. But I had no pressure from, and I'd no other people saying, why don't you do this or why don't you do that? So it was all just,
Self in your head, what you wanted to do.
I love Jose. Yeah, I love him. But like, people always think like we had a bad relationship. We had lots of arguments.
You did have a lot of arguments though, a lot.
But I love him. But I remember I played against. It was like a league game. We won 3-0 at home. It was just, I don't even remember who it was against. I set a goal up, or maybe set 2 goals up. Thought I played well, right?
Yeah.
But then, like a couple of, like I said, probably took a few little flicks around, right? And then I've gone through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and I should have just slotted it in. But I saw Crespo to the side of me, and I thought, well, I'm just going to do like the eyes and give it to him.
Yeah.
And he's not run anyway, they're defenders. And I didn't think nothing of it. We won 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
Most managers wouldn't think anything of it. Just like, but we're doing a warm down the next day, and this was before your time.
Yeah.
And we was all sitting there. I felt feeling pretty good about myself, playing well, we're winning games.
Yeah.
And he come over and just said, see that, you do that shit again. You do that shit again, boy. He said, you'll never play for me again. And I was like, what? I'm stretching my calf, and I'm just like, really? Like, do you know what I mean? And there was another game.
After setting up 2 goals and winning 3-0.
Yeah. And another game. I scored the winner against Liverpool, right? This is again before your time. And I was like, they were our big rivals. Yeah. And I thought I was the bee's knees, John. I've gone out that night, banging in the winner against Liverpool for your club. We had a great night. And before, like, phones. And,
well, you had a great night, though. You always had a great night back then. I've got a story where you lift up the fucking window. We lived that one.
Yeah. So anyway, bang, the goals. So goals gone in, gone out. Great night. No technology. Wake up the next morning, and my phone's blowing up, and he's just like battered me in the press.
No.
He was like, he has 2 sides, Joe Cole, the beautiful side and the ugly side, and I need more of the beautiful side. And he was just like, but he don't do this and he don't do that. He don't, you know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah.
Just a way of just keeping us down.
Yeah.
But I think I think he knew every time he'd done that to me, I would respond. We'd have an argument, and I'd respond. And but I don't know if that's the character now of the players. Listen. I think the modern player has better than us in a lot of ways, like physically, technically, tactically, but the mentality-wise, because they're not pushed like we were, in that sense.
Did you feel in left side against Ronaldinho?
Yeah, mate.
And then I seen the clip, taught me.
Mate.
I see a clip when you were talking about it saying, what was he like, Joe?
Mate, so I remember we started the first time, it was actually the second year I played in the Champions League, and it was the first time I'd gone to a stadium where I'm like, wow, it was a new camp, right? So we turned up the day before.
First time you've ever been there?
First time I've ever been there, and I loved Barcelona as a kid.
Yeah.
Romario, Stoichkov and all that. This kit just was the nuts.
It had everything, didn't it?
So like I played in the Premier League for like 6-7 years, so Highbury and Old Trafford, you're sort of getting accustomed to.
You're established.
You're like, okay, so I'm walking round, and I'm like, the grass gym. It was like someone had done it with like toenail clippers. It was like,
it weren't Fenergy's toenail. Old hooves here.
Really?
All right.
Oh, they're all
I like bark,
black
mate, honestly.
hooves.
Really? Okay.
Go on. Was it just a joke?
Jim, it was like I'm just like, fuck. We're training the night before, and the ball's moving so fast. Like it's like the pitch looks about twice the size.
Yeah, what's all that about? Why is it massive?
I'm going, is this regulation? Is this regulation size? And I'm just like going, right. And anyway, I'm playing. Then I'm playing right wing, and Ronaldinho's playing like left wing for them.
Sorry, yeah.
Right, so anyway, we got there. Another thing people don't realise, there's a chapel as you go out in the new camp. There used to be a little place where you can pray. And you see them all going in there.
But there's plenty of players.
We might need that. I wouldn't want to make banter. Like you're looking over, there's Ronaldinho and Messi going, fancy a couple of Hail Marys, lads. It's Champions League. You can't. You know what I mean? So anyway, we got in, and Jose's going to me. He's like going, listen, Ronaldinho. He's like, it's obviously all about Ronaldinho. Dangerous. When he gets the ball, Paulo Ferreira, you're strong. Makelele, you come here. Joe, if Van Bronckhorst runs, you go with him. At all times, yes, boss, no worries. Like, I'm like, okay, first time gets the ball. Van Bronckhorst makes a run, and I'm thinking, there's no way he's getting him the ball there, Jim. Like, I can't do that. He can't do that, right? He's pinned Paulo Ferreira, and he's like dragged, and then back-heeled it to Van Bronckhorst. And he's across, and know like that feeling when the world, I'm like, he's whipped it across. Etu's missed it by like a
Gaffer's side as
Rizzler.
well? Was it Jose's side?
No, the other side. I think I could have been hooked after 5.
Gaffer's side's the worst, isn't it?
Oh, so he's got like that. And it's like, and that stadium made like us, oh, and then all the whistles are going and everything. And I'm thinking, don't look over at the bench. But I can feel his grey coat. Like,
Told you.
And he's out abusing me. And I've just given him the... I thought, I'm not letting this geezer go once more in the game.
You gotta go
and
now.
it was just, and it's like the way that they played was
Phenomenal.
just beautiful football. I'm playing it, and it's like, you know, like they say when boxers fight other boxers better than them, they get bashed up, they leave the ring, go, I've learned something there.
Right.
We lost 2-1 the game, but we was in it. But I thought to myself, that's how football should be played. That's how the future. I thought that's the future of football.
Really,
right?
Joe.
And this was in 2005, and fast forward now, every team's still 20 years later trying to play like that. Man City are doing it, and they're the best. But it was just like, mate, I'm thinking, I just wanted to be part of that. How they were doing it, it was so good, man.
Was it any stories you can give me with Ronaldinho? Did he do anything where you was like, oh wow, what, like
Well,
anything?
well,
Did he say anything to you? Was there anything there?
Did he say anything? Do you know what? I wasn't really one.
Was he quiet in the game? Did he take liberties? Was he chopped?
Do you remember? No, he weren't Larry.
No.
Well, I don't think he spoke it. Well, actually, saying that though, because we won the second leg at Chelsea. That was the day when he done the toe bunger.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
another liberty.
The toe bunger was a liberty. it's like you know, like if you're playing.
I've seen you do that
Yeah, but like this was
live on
this
in
was
the moment.
we were brilliant. We were 3-0 up. Right, we were flying. I'm looking around and you think quality. We got this, and he just got the ball on the edge of the box, done his hips, and then he hit it and it's bent off of his toe, and it's you know like when you play FIFA with the kids or something, and the game glitches because the whole stadium went quiet. It's like everyone was just thinking, what happened there?
Yeah.
Just what happened? I've never seen anything like
It
that.
was,
On the football pitch.
yeah.
Really,
Best goal I've ever seen.
Really?
Because listen, we've all seen great goals, overhead kicks, strikes from distance, but I don't think there's any other player who would have attempted it,
Let alone
or
do it.
pull it off.
Yeah.
It was audacious. Jim still owes me a set of golf clubs. So
I can't believe you brought this up.
I'm not going to say. Do you left the club? I left my golf clubs in his car. He left the clubs, changed his number. I thought, fuck, the last time I'll see them. Next time I see him, he's popping up in the Premier League. And I'm like, fucking any danger? Just chawed my golf clubs. So if I do sign, that's the fee.
Absolutely.
Callaways or Titleist.
He had a set of Callaways, X16, they were Pro Series, like they were the nuts, right? I thought, he don't play that much, he won't mind, so I took them. I had them for a year and sold them.
Sold them?
700.
Who'd you sell them to?
Just my mate really fancied them.
Has he still got
I said,
them?
they're Joey Cisse, I like it, love you with it.
Has he still got them, do you think?
I don't know now, I wouldn't have thought so. This
He's
was
done-
20 years ago.
Well, if
But
anyone
I still
has
get
got them...
embarrassed around that because it's half thieving it, isn't it?
Well, no, it's not half
that's
even. It
sweet.
is.
I thought it was good banner.
Yeah, it's play.
That's it. Only a footballer will go, that's
Nixon.
good banner.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it? With golf clubs, good banner.
No, but I really-
he stole
you know-
your golf club. He stole your property.
Yeah. We don't condone thieving at FC Bullard.
That's
We do
correct.
not.
We don't.
No,
we
not.
absolutely.
It's a fine.
We do not.